don't know if you caught this interview or this piece that was floating around Bill Maher the other night on HBO, taking the piss out of Bitcoin, of cryptocurrencies, and admits in this whole thing that he didn't even know really what he's talking about. I want to play this and just get your take on this.
And finally, new rule: nothing with crypto in the title ever turns out good. There is a mania rising in the country these days about cryptocurrency and how the train is leaving the station, so you better get on. Tesla has jumped in with both feet, and Microsoft accepts it for software now. Etsy accepts it now, and so does PayPal and Starbucks and Whole Foods and Home Depot. 1 in 10 Americans used their stimulus checks to invest in one of cryptocurrencies in existence, Bitcoin being the most famous, but there's also Ethereum, Binance, Tether, even one called Cumrocket. There's also one called Dogecoin that someone started as a joke, but as far as I can tell, it's exactly the same as all the other cryptocurrencies because the whole thing is a joke.
By the way, it sounded like half of his audience had invested in Dogecoin before they went into the theater. What did you make of Bill Maher's comments on this?
You could either just say it's indicative of the success of Bitcoin and the crypto industry in general, so that now it's something people want to roast. I guess that's the most charitable way to say it. He's getting laughs. I don't think he's invested 100 hours in Bitcoin to understand what it is. That much is clear. I imagine comedians made jokes about automobiles, planes, and trains. He himself, disparaged mobile phones,
right,
back in 2003. So he's a comedian. I wouldn't take my investment advice from a comedian, right? I mean, there's hundreds of millions of people that disagree with him. But, if he says it funny enough, they might laugh. It's if anybody were to take him seriously, it would be a tragedy because, this is critical to the human rights of billions of people around the world. And so he's a little bit out of touch with the humanitarian elements of this. And, billions of women and children that are going to starve to death without the ability to store property so they can feed themselves in the future isn't really a laughing matter. I mean, he makes it into a laughing matter, but if I stripped away all of his money and kicked him out on the street and I closed his bank accounts and I let him wander around and then I said, well, Bill, we don't want you to lose electricity because there are some people, some rich Americans somewhere that don't like your use of it, it would seem a little bit cruel and insensitive, I think.
Yeah, like the story we talked about earlier in Venezuela. I mean, you have little kids sleeping in tents. I mean, this little girl sitting here with a mask, and this is her toy. It's a branch that she's sitting with while she's sleeping because her parents maybe get $3 a month, and they're moving into cryptocurrency. It's not funny to me. And I guess the thing that I have so much trouble with is he purports to be, a progressive of some kind and wants power for the people and doesn't want people to be ripped off by their governments or by, rich elites, etc. And he says in this piece that he's getting advice from Warren Buffett and these other old rich white guys who are part of this, old system. So
he's elitist and out of touch.
All right.
But hopefully maybe he'll get some feedback following this monologue and he'll go do the research and he'll realize that this is monetary electricity for 8 billion people on the planet, and depriving 8 billion people of thermodynamically sound money and a digital monetary network is just as cruel and non-progressive as turning off their running water or their electricity or depriving them of antibiotics or any other modern technology. We might as well strip away everybody's automobile, plane, and train from them because someone's got a problem with energy usage, right? I mean, it's
right.
It will be looked back as laughable in a decade. Right now, it's only funny because half the people don't really understand how the energy gets used.
Well said. My guest has been Michael Saylor. Really appreciate you joining us here on the show. It's been a real treat. We'd love to have you come back more often. Our audience was really excited about having you here. So thank you for being a voice, especially when we talk about oppressed people and bringing this education to the world. So thank you so much for what you do. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And thanks to all of you for subscribing to the channel. We really appreciate it. Our goal with this channel is to bring financial education to you, the things we were not taught in school, and to empower you to take financial control of your life outside of this corrupt system. So this is what we were talking about today. So much love to all of you. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it.